Hi guys. So I want to talk about submissions. What do you do when you catch someone in an arm lock? I mean, in the gym on the mats, you tap. There's a mutual understanding that if you get caught in a submission hold that you don't know how to get out of, and you reach your limit, you tap, and it's understood that your partner's going to let you go. You reset, you start again. Everyone's healthy. But what about in a real street fight? What do you do if you catch someone in an arm lock? What's your plan? Because again, in the gym, the mutual understanding is that you tap, but on the street, there is no tap. They don't tap out. And the thing is, you have a right to defend yourself. There's 5 rules of engagement, okay? Rule number 1 is avoid the fight at all costs. Rule number 2, if physically attacked, defend yourself. No one has the right to touch you without your permission, okay? And no one has the right to obviously attack you without you being able to defend yourself. So if you're defending yourself and you catch someone in an arm lock, they're gonna go crazy trying to get out of it. And you're gonna feel that energy, and you're gonna know that they're fighting against you, obviously. But there comes a point where they're fighting, and then they reach this point where there's compliance. And that little window of compliance is a very small area, small time frame. Because the person's gonna go from fighting you to the point where they know they're caught, they know they're in trouble, and there's a point where they're gonna comply right there if you give them an opportunity to. But if you don't give them the opportunity, they're gonna feel like their arm is gonna break, using the arm lock as an example, and they go back to defending their own arm. They're gonna go crazy trying to get out of that arm lock just to defend themselves. And the energy you feel when someone is fighting you and the energy you feel when they're defending themselves is exactly the same. You're not gonna be able to feel a difference. So in your mind, you're gonna feel like, hey, this person's still fighting me, and I have to keep going. And then what's gonna happen? Inevitably, somebody's gonna get their arm broken. Now, we don't wanna do that, okay? Because rule number 5 in the 5 rules of engagement, when applying a submission, use the minimal force that's reasonable and negotiate. So we're not trying to break someone's arm necessarily, we're trying to break their spirit. We're trying to get them to give up, to change their mind about wanting to fight us, okay? It's like the Jedi mind trick. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Well, you don't wanna fight me anymore. And we're trying to get them to believe that, hey, I don't wanna fight you anymore. So when you catch someone in a submission, there's a small window of compliance. You need to communicate, okay? Rule number 5, again, when applying a submission, use minimal force that's reasonable and negotiate. Now, negotiate means make a deal. So what do you say? What do you say? Stop fighting? They're not gonna stop fighting. They're trying to protect their arm. Stop resisting. They believe they aren't resisting. They're just trying to protect themselves. But you feel like they're resisting. You feel like they're fighting back. So we recommend that while you're training, you actually verbalize what you want. Stop fighting and I'll let go of your arm. I'll give you something if you give me something. Stop fighting and I'll let go of your arm. And it's a deal that's good for both people, right? I don't want to break someone's arm. Now we understand there's going to be times in a real fight that might be the inevitable outcome. You might have to do that to get the person from continue fighting you. But the point I want to talk about tonight talk about right now is the fact that there's that small window of compliance. What are you doing with it? Are you causing them, number 1, you're getting to the point where you change their mind, but are you going to do something with that small window of opportunity that you have to change their mind and let them get out of there uninjured? Because if you injure them, obviously they're going to wind up going possibly to the hospital. There could be legal ramifications against you. They might press charges against you, and you're gonna have to defend yourself on that. And there's all kinds of problems out there that you have to think about that we don't really talk about a lot of times here on the mat. And that's something I just want you guys to think about is the window of compliance is small. How good are your communication skills? Are you communicating while you're training? Are you communicating while you're in a real street fight? Are you telling the person what you want? Look, I don't want you to fight me anymore, but I need you to stop. I need you to stop and I'll let you go. I need you to stop and I'll let you up. Stop fighting, I'll let go of your arm. So again, just think about that window of compliance and how that energy feels. And understand that you may not be able to feel the difference. So if you don't have a plan, you might put yourself in a worse position than you really mean to. You might do more damage to the person than you originally intended to. And I think these are things to understand and really try to comprehend as you become higher levels in your jiu-jitsu training, to know how to make the right decisions and make the wise decisions and keep people healthy, yourself as well as the person who's potentially the bad guy.